Think your home smells fresh and clean? Think again. The average household uses air fresheners weekly. But here's the kicker. Nearly 20% of users report headaches, breathing trouble, or asthma flare-ups from these so-called fresheners. You might think that plug-in is just harmless scent, but before you spritz or plug one in again, you might want to finish this video, because once you learn what's really in that fresh chemical cocktail, your clean-smelling routine might need a serious detox. Let's kick things off with plug-ins. Those little devices marketed as continuous freshness. Convenience? Sure. Safety? Not so much. Former manufacturing workers are blowing the whistle, saying companies prioritize profit margins over emission testing. And here's the real shocker. Those air cleaning claims? They don't clean anything. They just pump out volatile organic compounds 24/7. We're not talking about a light mist of natural goodness here. We're talking formaldehyde, phthalates, and benzene, the same stuff you'd find in paint thinner. The EPA found these things release hazardous air pollutants around the clock. Yet most labels just say fragrance. It's like calling a wolf in sheep's clothing just wool. One quality control worker spilled the beans, confessing that when emissions exceeded safety thresholds, managers told them to retest until we get better numbers. It's not about making your home safer. It's about making their bottom line fatter. But don't just take my word for it. Real people are feeling the effects. A mom in Texas posted a video of her toddler wheezing after leaving a plug-in overnight in the nursery. Safe? Not quite. That's not home comfort. That's chemical warfare. And it's not just plug-ins. Sprays, gels, and even those innocent-looking scented candles are in on the act. They all part of a multi-billion-dollar industry that's more interested in masking odors than addressing the root cause of household smells. Let's break down what's really happening when you use these products. You're not eliminating odors. You're just adding more chemicals to the mix. It's like trying to fix a leaky roof by putting a bucket underneath. Sure, it might catch the drips, but you're not solving the problem. The industry knows this, of course. But instead of developing safer alternatives, they're doubling down on deception. Fancy packaging, celebrity endorsements, and vague claims of natural ingredients are all part of the smoke and mirrors. And here's where it gets really sneaky. Some companies are now marketing their products as green or eco-friendly. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find it's often just greenwashing. A product might be free of one harmful chemical, only to replace it with another that's just as bad, or worse. So what can you do to protect yourself and your family? First, open your windows. Good old-fashioned fresh air is still the best air freshener around. If you need to tackle odors, try natural alternatives like baking soda, vinegar, or essential oils. But more importantly, start asking questions. Demand transparency from manufacturers. Read labels carefully, and if you see fragrance listed as an ingredient, know that it could be hiding a cocktail of harmful chemicals. Remember, your nose isn't always the best judge of what's safe. Just because something smells good doesn't mean it's good for you. That clean scent might be masking a whole host of health hazards. It's time to clear the air, literally and figuratively. The air freshener industry has been pulling the wool over our eyes for too long. They've been selling us a false sense of cleanliness at the expense of our health. So the next time you're tempted to reach for that air freshener, pause and think about what you're really bringing into your home. Is that artificial ocean breeze or spring meadow worth the risk to your family's health? Let's make our homes truly fresh and clean, not by masking odors with chemicals, but by addressing the root causes of household smells and embracing natural, safe alternatives. Your lungs, your sinuses, and your overall health will thank you. It's time to break free from the chemical haze and breathe easy. Because when it comes to the air in your home, natural is always better than fresh. Don't let the air freshener industry fool you any longer. Your health is too important to be compromised by a false sense of freshness. Next up, aerosol sprays, where instant freshness actually means instant chemical assault on your health. Ex-workers reveal production lines where safety measures were treated like optional extras and quality control. They barely glanced at what was being pumped into those cans. Hidden truth: you're not banishing odors. You're just unleashing a toxic storm that mingles with indoor ozone to spawn formaldehyde. Shocking ingredients include benzene, toluene, and phthalates that can trigger asthma attacks faster than you can say fresh scent. Studies show these emit cancer-causing agents, Even the so-called natural brands aren't off the hook. Manufacturing insiders spilled the beans on how internal safety reports were routinely swept under the rug to dodge costly reformulations. One customer's nightmare unfolded after a month of daily bathroom spray use, resulting in chronic migraines that turned their life upside down. Clean? More like a fast track to respiratory havoc. The only thing fresh about these sprays is how swiftly they can wreak havoc on your lungs. But wait, there's more. Let us dive into those innocent-looking gel beads and solid blocks, the silent chemical time bombs lurking in your bathroom. Factory workers let slip that these things are loaded with p-dichlorobenzene. Yeah, that's the same stuff used in mothballs, plus a cocktail of toxic VOCs like toluene and xylene that keep off-gassing for weeks on end. Hidden truth. They don't absorb odors at all. They just overpower your senses with synthetic fragrances that cling to everything like an unwelcome house guest. The aerosol industry's dirty little secret? Those instant freshness claims are nothing but a smokescreen for a chemical blitzkrieg in your living space. Behind the scenes, it's a wild west of corner cutting and profit chasing. Workers describe production facilities where safety protocols were treated like optional extras, and quality checks were about as thorough as a toddler's room cleaning. They weren't monitoring what went into those cans. They were crossing their fingers and hoping for the best. Here's the kicker. When you spray these so-called fresheners, you're not eliminating odors. Oh no, you're just adding to the problem with a toxic soup that reacts with indoor ozone to create formaldehyde. Yes, that formaldehyde, the same stuff used in embalming fluid. Feeling fresh yet? And we're just getting started. Let's talk ingredients. We're looking at a rogues gallery of chemicals that reads like a who's who of toxicity. Benzene, toluene, phthalates. These aren't just big words to scare you. These are compounds that can have you wheezing and gasping within minutes of exposure. Got asthma? These sprays might as well be kryptonite for your lungs. Now, you might be thinking, but I use the natural stuff. Sorry to burst your eco-friendly bubble, but studies show that even these green options are emitting carcinogens. That's right, your attempt to go au naturel might still be filling your home with cancer-causing agents. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline-soaked rags. The plot thickens when you hear what goes on behind closed factory doors. Whistleblowers report that damning safety reports were routinely buried deeper than nuclear waste. Why? To avoid the costly headache of reformulating their products. It's profits over people, plain and simple. Real people are paying the price for this chemical roulette. Take the story of one unlucky customer who developed chronic migraines after a month of daily bathroom spray use. They thought they were keeping things fresh, but instead, they were giving themselves a one-way ticket to Pain City. And just when you thought it was safe to breathe, we've got those seemingly harmless gel beads and solid blocks to contend with. These aren't just air fresheners. They're chemical time bombs ticking away in your bathroom. Manufacturing insiders spill the tea on these little terrors, packed with p-dichlorobenzene. Yes, the same stuff in mothballs, plus a nasty cocktail of VOCs like toluene and xylene. These silent killers don't just sit there looking pretty. They're off-gassing for weeks, filling your air with a toxic haze that you can't see, but your body sure can feel. And here's the real kicker. They don't even absorb odors. It's all smoke and mirrors, or rather, synthetic fragrance and lies. They're not eliminating smells. They're just overpowering your nose with artificial scents that stick to everything like glue. So next time you reach for that spray can or consider popping open a new air freshener, remember, you're not buying freshness. You're buying a ticket to a chemical carnival where your health is the main attraction. The only thing these products are eliminating is the clean air in your home. It's time to clear the air, literally and figuratively, about what these so-called fresheners are really doing to our homes and our health. Let us talk about the dirty secret behind those natural and organic air fresheners, where clever marketing hides a toxic reality. Former industry insiders have blown the whistle on a shocking truth. These so-called eco-friendly products are using virtually identical chemical formulas as their conventional counterparts. The only real difference? Earth-tone packaging adorned with leafy logos designed to make you feel good about your purchase. But here's what these companies don't want you to know. Their green credentials are nothing more than a facade. Environmental scientists have conducted extensive research, uncovering a disturbing fact. These supposedly natural air fresheners are emitting over 156 different volatile organic compounds into your home. Even more alarming, 42 of these compounds are classified as toxic or hazardous by regulatory agencies. Yet, in a blatant display of deception, less than 3% of these chemicals are actually disclosed on product labels. The deception doesn't stop there. Toxicologists have been unable to find any meaningful differences between regular air fresheners and their organic counterparts when it comes to health impacts. It's all smoke and mirrors, designed to capitalize on consumers' growing desire for healthier, more environmentally friendly products. But the consequences of this greenwashing are far from benign. Workplace studies have revealed a disturbing trend. 34.7% of people exposed to scented products report experiencing a range of health issues. These aren't just minor inconveniences. We're talking about debilitating migraines, severe respiratory symptoms, and painful skin reactions. For some, the effects are so severe that they've been forced to miss work or even quit their jobs entirely. This isn't about creating a pleasant atmosphere or promoting wellness. It's about profits at the expense of public health. These companies are peddling what amounts to greenwashed poison, all while wrapping it in a veneer of eco-friendliness. The air freshener industry has mastered the art of deception, using buzzwords like natural and organic to lull consumers into a false sense of security. They've tapped into our collective desire for cleaner, safer products, but have delivered nothing more than cleverly disguised chemical cocktails. The earth tone packaging and nature-inspired imagery are carefully crafted to evoke feelings of purity and wholesomeness, while the true nature of the product remains hidden. It's a masterclass in manipulation, with marketing teams working overtime to create an illusion of health and sustainability. But strip away the green veneer, and you'll find the same old toxic formulas lurking beneath. These products aren't revolutionizing the industry. They're simply repackaging the same harmful chemicals in more appealing containers. The lack of transparency in ingredient disclosure is particularly troubling. With less than 3% of chemicals actually listed on product labels, consumers are left in the dark about what they're really bringing into their homes. This deliberate obfuscation prevents people from making truly informed choices about the products they use and the potential risks they re-exposing themselves and their families to. The health impacts of these products cannot be overstated. When over a third of people exposed to scented products report significant symptoms, it's clear that we're dealing with a widespread public health issue. The fact that some individuals have been forced to alter their work arrangements or leave their jobs entirely due to these exposures is a damning indictment of an industry that prioritizes profits over people. It's time to pull back the curtain on this charade. Consumers deserve to know the truth about the products they're using to scent their homes and workplaces. We need to demand real transparency, rigorous safety testing, and honest marketing from the air freshener industry. Until then, those natural and organic labels are nothing more than empty promises, masking a reality that's far from fresh or clean. The next time you're tempted by an air freshener boasting its green credentials, remember, behind that eco-friendly facade likely lurks the same old chemical soup. It's not wellness they're selling. It's a cleverly disguised poison, wrapped in the false promise of natural goodness. Don't let the green packaging fool you. Your health, and the health of those around you, is too important to be sacrificed on the altar of corporate greed and deceptive marketing. Next up, let us dive into the hidden world of chemical contamination in public and commercial environments, where exposure to potentially harmful substances becomes an involuntary part of our daily lives. Picture this. You're walking into a public restroom, an office building, or checking into a hotel. What you might not realize is that you're about to be bombarded by a cocktail of chemicals, courtesy of those seemingly innocuous air fresheners. Former employees of air freshener companies have come forward with shocking revelations, describing these automated dispensers as nothing short of chemical crop dusters. These devices are programmed to release high concentrations of fragrances into confined spaces every few minutes, creating an inescapable cloud of synthetic scents. The truth is, you can't escape it, you can't control it, and most businesses couldn't care less about your sensitivity to these chemicals. Let's talk numbers for a moment. A staggering 20.4% of the general population has reported experiencing health problems due to air fresheners in public spaces. That's 1 in 5 people potentially suffering from headaches, respiratory issues, or other adverse reactions. Yet, despite this alarming statistic, there are virtually no regulations in place to protect consumers from this invisible threat. You might think that businesses would be concerned about these issues, but the reality is far from it. Quality control workers have come forward, revealing that customer complaints about fragrance sensitivity are a constant occurrence. However, management often dismisses these concerns, treating them as acceptable losses in their pursuit of a supposedly fresh-smelling environment. Consider this real-life example. A hotel guest meticulously documented their experience of severe migraines and respiratory distress that ultimately forced them to check out early. You'd expect the hotel to take this seriously, right? Wrong. Their response was a dismissive suggestion to maybe try a different room. This isn't hospitality. It's subjecting guests to hostage-level exposure to potentially harmful chemicals. But the problem doesn't end when you leave these scented spaces. In fact, it's just the beginning of a much longer-lasting issue. Manufacturing workers have blown the whistle on a disturbing truth. These chemical compounds don't simply dissipate into thin air. Instead, they bind to surfaces, fabrics, and even your clothing, continuing to off-gas for days or even weeks after initial exposure. This means that the walls, carpets, and furniture in these public spaces essentially become chemical reservoirs. Long after you've left the building, these surfaces slowly release a toxic cocktail of formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, and ultrafine particles. It's a hidden contamination that persists long after the scent has faded and the air freshener has been thrown away. The implications of this are far-reaching and deeply concerning. Every time you enter a public space, you're not just exposing yourself to the immediate effects of these chemical fragrances. You're potentially carrying traces of these compounds with you, unknowingly bringing them into your home, your workplace, and other environments. What's particularly alarming is the lack of transparency surrounding this issue. Businesses are not required to disclose the full list of chemicals used in their air freshening products, leaving consumers in the dark about what they're actually breathing in. This lack of information makes it nearly impossible for individuals with sensitivities or health concerns to make informed decisions about the spaces they enter. Moreover, the long-term health effects of chronic exposure to these chemical cocktails are still not fully understood. While acute reactions like headaches and respiratory irritation are well documented, the potential for more serious, long-term health impacts remains a looming concern. The situation calls for urgent action on multiple fronts. First and foremost, there's a pressing need for stricter regulations on the use of chemical air fresheners in public spaces. This should include mandatory disclosure of all ingredients and limitations on the concentration and frequency of fragrance release. Additionally, businesses need to be held accountable for the health and well-being of their customers and employees. This means taking complaints seriously, offering fragrance-free alternatives, and prioritizing natural ventilation over chemical air freshening methods. As consumers, we also have a role to play. By raising awareness, demanding transparency, and supporting businesses that prioritize health over artificial freshness, we can drive change in this industry. It's time to clear the air, literally and figuratively, about the hidden dangers lurking in the spaces we inhabit every day. All right, let's talk about clean air and what you can actually do about it. Here's the deal. It's time to ditch those chemical air fresheners for good. They're not just a waste of money. They're putting your health at risk. And the kicker? There are real solutions out there that actually work. First things first, if you can't pronounce what's in it, or if the label just says fragrance, leave it on the shelf. That's a red flag, plain and simple. Same goes for anything that needs to be plugged in or constantly refilled. Those are just gimmicks designed to keep you hooked. So what really works? Let's start with the basics. Ventilation. Open those windows, get some fans going. It's not rocket science, but it's effective. Fresh air is your friend, and it doesn't cost a dime. Now, let's talk about real odor eliminators. Forget those fancy sprays and plug-ins. What you need is already in your kitchen: baking soda, white vinegar, and activated charcoal. These aren't just old wives' tales. They're scientifically proven to absorb odors, not just mask them. And here's a game changer: houseplants. Not only do they look great, but they're natural air purifiers. They're like little green superheroes, fighting off indoor pollutants 24/7. Plus, they don't need batteries or refills. Just a little water and sunlight, and they're good to go. But here's the real key. Stop trying to cover up odors and start addressing the source. Got a musty smell? Look for mold or mildew. Pet odors? Regular grooming and cleaning can work wonders. Cooking smells? Use your range hood and clean up promptly. It's about tackling the problem, not hiding it under a layer of artificial scents. Now, let's talk about taking action beyond your own four walls. It's time to demand fragrance-free policies at work and in public spaces. Why should you have to breathe in someone else's idea of fresh all day? Your health matters, and you have the right to clean air wherever you go. You've got the power here. You can choose clean air over corporate convenience. Don't let those big companies fool you with their fresh scent marketing. Your health is worth more than their profit margins. Think about it. How many times have you bought an air freshener only to realize it's just making things worse? How much money have you wasted on products that promise mountain fresh or spring breeze, but deliver nothing but headaches? Literally, it's time to wake up and smell nothing. Because clean air doesn't have a scent. It doesn't come in a can or a plug-in. It comes from making smart choices and taking real action. So here's what you're going to do. Next time you're tempted to buy an air freshener, stop. Think about what you've learned here. Remember that you have better options that are cheaper, healthier, and actually effective. Start small if you need to. Open a window, buy a plant, put out a bowl of baking soda. See the difference for yourself, and then spread the word. Tell your friends, your family, your coworkers. Share this information with anyone who still thinks air fresheners are the answer. Because at the end of the day, the truth isn't always in the pretty packaging. It's in the results you can see, smell, and feel. It's in the relief of breathing easy without worrying about what chemicals you're inhaling. We're not going to stop here. We'll keep exposing the truth about these so-called air fresheners. We'll keep fighting for your right to clean air, because you deserve better than what these companies are selling you. So tap that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Let's start a clean air revolution, one breath at a time. Because when it comes to the air you breathe, settling for anything less than the best just isn't an option. Your lungs will thank you, your wallet will thank you, and future generations will thank you for taking a stand. Remember, every breath counts. Make sure yours are clean ones.